Talofa, greetings and welcome to Tangaloa Tradition. This is the podcast that brings you Polynesian legends from the islands of Samoa so we can share with you the Polynesian brand of spiritual wisdom. All this week, Samoa is hosting the Pacific Games, which includes 25 nations. And Samoa's preparation in the last 6 months included all the school kids in the whole of Samoa preparing songs and dances and dance routines for the opening and the closing ceremony. Now, all the kids cannot participate in the actual performance. So what government did so that there is a sense of inclusiveness in all the school kids, they had all the schools in Savaii, the big island, and all the schools in the outer villages of Upolu. And what they did is they practiced and sang national anthems from the different nations participating, their favorite songs and their dances. So they filmed it, and on television for the last 8 weeks, they played this over and over again. And I suppose that was government's way of creating awareness within the nation of how huge and humongous this task of hosting the games here in Samoa. And the element that I want to point out is how government is working, and also the committee, the stevedoring committee for the function, how they try to include everybody in the process. Now, last Friday, because Sunday was the opening ceremony, but the Friday before, all the kids around the town area came and did their dress rehearsal. And the mood was just one of high expectation, and the parents and families were all there, and it was just out of this world. And the best way Tangaloa Tradition can sum it up was with a post that a young lady put up on Facebook, and it reads, "Tonight in the Apia Park Stadium, I watched, heart brimming with pride and tears, as 3,000 students did their dress rehearsal for the opening ceremony, surrounded by just as many proud parents and families. I saw yawns, fatigue, and a few missed steps from the performers, but no matter what corner of the stadium I looked, I saw hands clapping and faces smiling from ear to ear." And then she summed it up by saying, "Nowhere else in the world could I experience with so many the sense of belonging." And I suppose the committee, the organizing committee, was successful in trying to have this exclusive feeling be the major component in preparing for the Pacific Games. Yes, you get this sense of belonging when you do what you do, inclusive of everyone, making the supporters just as much the performers as the performers felt on the day of the dress rehearsal. Inclusive of students, even the ones in Savaii and the outer villages in Upolu, make this, like this lady said, "Nowhere else in the world could I experience with so many the sense of belonging." And that brings us to our legend for this week. And our legend comes to us from the islands of Samoa. It's the making of the ceremonial crown. The ceremonial crown. In Samoan, it's called palefuyono. Palefuyono. And the exclusiveness in making the palefuyono, not only in the components that went into making the palefuyono, but also in the naming. And that shows the far-reaching wisdom of our ancestors. Because in making the palefuyono, we get dried sticks from the forest, about the size of your little pinky. And then they have these sticks stand out from ear to ear, standing up like this. And in between these sticks, they would glue in things like coral rock, colored coral, and seashells, and artifacts they make from turtle shells, seashells. Not only that, they also have human hair in making the ceremony or the palefuyono. They cut hair about 1.5 feet long, and then they put it in seawater. And every morning they would take it out and dry it out in the sun. And this is the process that goes on for about a week, and until the hair turns a golden brown color. So you see, the ancestors tried to incorporate every facet of the environment into making the ceremonial crown. We get the dried sticks from the land. We get the seashells and the color coral from the ocean. And we add that human hair to add the humanity into the equation. And not only inclusive in the components that went into the making, but also in the naming of the ceremonial crown. They call it Pale Fuyono. Pale is the crown. Fuyono is the collective term we give to the 6 major counties or the 6 major family divisions that make up our humble little nation of Samoa. Tumua, Pule, Ituau, Alataua, Aingalitai, Maleva'o Fonti. This is the inclusiveness that was in the committee, the organizing committee, into organizing the opening ceremony that all the kids, the school kids in Samoa, participated in, even though they weren't here physically and in body, but they were here in spirit because they already did their bit. For the last 8 weeks, they've been playing it over and over on television. Inclusiveness is the power that empowers others by including others in what we do. Like it gave the feeling to the spectators, they felt the performance of their students and their kids on the day. Inclusiveness is the universal power the rich have to empower the poor. It's the universal power that the strong have to empower the weak. And it's the inclusiveness of this universal power that we include into our thinking, in our decisions that we make, and the language that we speak. And it fosters a great sense of belonging, which empowers everyone to vibrate on the same wavelength. And that's your legend for this week from the islands of Samoa, the legend of the ceremonial crown, Pale Fuyono. I'm your host, Fatfatu Enari, wishing you all a pleasant week. Tofa Soifua.